Okay, so this is my educational psychology final scrapbook by Cameron Ives. I will be discussing my first three topics of my seven, which are maturation. The second one is the industry versus inferiority stage of Erickson's psychosocial development, and the third one is operant conditioning. So, first, maturation. Teenagers mature at all different ages and rates, and these come with positive and negative effects for both boys and girls. For boys, some positives of early maturation are that it can lead to popularity early on in school, as well as being viewed as more physically attractive by your peers. However, boys who mature early are more likely to engage in delinquent behavior, and they also tend to have higher risk for depression, alcohol abuse, and addiction to cigarettes. And for the boys who mature late, they can have a difficult time socially interacting initially, but they tend to be more creative and tolerant later on in life in adulthood, which are two very desirable qualities to have. And in girls, early maturation can lead to some special treatment from teachers as they can be seen as smarter or more capable, but it can also lead to depression, anxiety, and alcohol/drug abuse later on. And for girls who mature late, they can have low self-efficacy and low self-esteem as they can think there's something wrong with them, but as they grow up, they tend to have fewer problems later on in life. So as a high school teacher, I know that I will be dealing with kids from all over the maturation spectrum in my career. I'll have to deal with some from the low end, some from the high end. So I have to understand that I have to treat them all the same and that they're all growing into adults and still developing as people, and they're supposed to make mistakes. So I just have to keep a level head and not overreact and be a good guide and a good role model to them as they develop. Okay, my second topic is industry versus inferiority, and this is the fourth stage of Erickson's psychosocial development model, and it usually occurs between ages 6 to 12. And during this stage, children begin to try to complete increasingly complex tasks as they develop. And if a child gets positive reinforcement from his parents, teachers, and peers, then they will develop a sense of belief in their own abilities and a feeling of confidence, like they can accomplish more complex tasks. But if the child is not encouraged by the people around them, then they will develop a sense of self-doubt and begin to compare themselves to others, ask why are they able to do this and I'm not, which can lead to jealousy, which is not a good trait to develop. And it is the job of teachers and parents to encourage their children to explore new things and give them positive feedback about their skills. And in my own teaching, I won't be encountering children who are ages 6 to 12, but I will still need to know all about Erickson's psychosocial development model, which means that I need to know about all stages. I need to know how my students develop and where they should be at in their development in order to accurately assess their progress and know if they need anything from me, if I need to help them in any extra way. The children I will be dealing with are ages 14 to 18, so teenagers and some adults. So they're just one stage removed from the industry inferiority stage still. And some of these students could possibly still be in this stage. These ages aren't concrete. In order to satisfy these students' needs, I need to always encourage them and motivate my students to strive to be their best. Okay, and my last topic that I will be discussing is operant conditioning, and this is an idea that was started by Thorndike and Skinner, and it is a type of learning that occurs through a reward and punishment system. And these specific tasks begin to be associated with specific consequences, and if a reward is given after a behavior, it will be increased. However, if punishment occurs after a behavior, this behavior might be decreased. For example, to teach a dog to sit, you can reward them with a treat every time they sit. So then the dog will catch on that sitting down, they might get a treat. So whenever you tell them to sit down, they will begin to pick up on it because they're getting a reward for it. and this is what operant conditioning is. So in my classroom, in my teachings, I can utilize operant conditioning in order to get the most out of my students. I can reward them for things such as good behavior, good grades, and just being good people all around, being good community-wise in the school. All high school students love candy, so this is a form of reward I could give to my students. I know this was very popular when I was in high school. On the other hand, if there is a behavior that I do not like in my classroom, I can punish my students or yell at them just to discourage the behavior in the future and try to have it not come back. If I have to, I can give out detentions for certain behaviors I do not approve of or possibly add homework. But yeah, that's going to be all for my scrapbook. Those are my 3, and thanks for listening.